Hello, in this video we'll learn about exception handling. Okay, exception handling. What is exception and how to handle exception using try, except, and finally blocks, and also else part, and also user different exceptions with some sample programs. We will see completely exceptions only. We will discuss. Okay, before learning exceptions, we have to know, we have to understand these three type of errors. Okay, in general we can classify errors in program these types: compile errors, compile time errors, runtime errors, logical errors. Only these three type of errors will be there in any program in Python. Okay, in every programming language. First, compile time errors. What is compile time? Compile time errors nothing but the syntactical error. Okay, Python compiler detects these compile time errors. Okay, suppose examples we will see what is compile time error. Suppose if suppose x, suppose you assign some number here, x is equal to 5, something like that. And if x uh, percentage by 2 equal to 0, print something. Okay, print. So it's not an exception, it's not an exception, like something whatever. Okay, something statement, and next you printing here. Okay, print here, it's an exception, it's a compile time exception. Okay, why this compile time exception means we are giving spaces. Okay, we are not after every block in Python should follow same spaces. Okay, before statements should same spaces should be there. Okay, these statements, because indentation, you have to understand indentations, because same block contains same spaces. All the statements belonging to the same block should use same number of spaces before them. Okay, so if there is any deviation in the spaces, then we can see indentation error raised by the Python. This is the compile time error here. Okay, Python compiler detects this type of errors, compile time errors. Observe here, runtime error. See, indentation error, unexpected indent. Okay, so if you can easily understand. Okay, indentation error means some spaces are gone in any block. You can understand like this, like that. So ignore error. And also, if you suppose if you miss a semicolon here like this one. Okay, if you miss a semicolon like this one, you will get the error. See, syntax error, invalid syntax. Okay, compile time errors are nothing but the syntax errors. Syntax means if you know the syntax easily, you can understand and you can modify your programming. So not a bit, so no need of exceptions in the compile time errors. Okay, suppose instead of x equal to, if you do 4 equal to 0, so there is some exception. There is also syntax error only, it comes under. So like that. Okay, instead of, okay, syntactical error, nothing but compile time errors, nothing but syntax errors. Okay, remember. Next thing is runtime errors. Runtime errors, when runtime errors detected by the Python virtual machine. Okay, so when Python virtual machine cannot execute the bytecode, it flags runtime error. For example, insufficient memory to store something, or inability of the PVM is Python virtual machine to execute some statement, come under runtime errors. Okay, runtime errors are not detected by the Python compiler. Okay, they are detected by the Python virtual machine only at runtime. What this error means, with example we will see here. Okay, uh, with examples we will see here. Suppose you can write definitions, some, a comma b, functions. Okay, c is equal to a plus b, and return c, and return c, and we have to store some value. No, z is equal to some 2 comma, if you give 3 like this one. See, this is a runtime error, you get it. See, run Python 5 terminal, trace back most recent call last file, this one, 2 comma string 3. Type error, we got type error, unsupported operand type. Okay, type error, you will get type errors in this type of concatenation between two different types. Okay, because Python is a strongly typed language. Okay, you can't mix the strings and integer. You can convert this 3 to integer and you can add it, you can sum it, but you can't sum integers and some integer and numbers in the Python. You will get type error because it's a strongly type error. So this error we got caught by the Python virtual machine. Okay, not the Python compiler ignores this one. Okay, Python compiler won't detect this type of errors. Python virtual machine detect this type of error, runtime errors. Okay, suppose if you give like this one, suppose if you give 2 comma 3, if you given 2 comma 3 comma 4, okay, if you give 2 comma 3 comma 4, I think it ignores, I think so. You won't get error. See, it also error. Some takes 2 position arguments, but 3 we are given. Okay, you have given 3 arguments here. There are only 2 parameters, but you have 3 arguments here. Okay, this type of errors, type error. Okay, this type of errors also detected by the Python virtual machine. Okay, so like that, Python virtual machine detects only runtime errors, and exceptions are nothing but the runtime errors. Okay, exceptions are nothing but runtime errors. How to handle the runtime errors? Okay, nothing but an exception here. See, an exception is a runtime error which can be handled by the programmer. What is exception means? An exception is a runtime error which can be handled by the programmer. All exceptions are represented as classes in Python. Classes we'll see in the OOPS concept. Just remember this classes. Okay, all exceptions are represented as classes. Different classes will be there. Okay, classes in Python. Compile time errors and logical errors can be eliminated by the programmer by modifying the source code. Compile time errors and logical errors can be eliminated, okay, by the programmer by modifying the source code. No need of exceptions in compile time errors and logical errors. In case of runtime errors, when the programmer knows which type of error occurs, he has to handle them using exception handling mechanism. Okay. In case of runtime errors, like this program. So like this program, okay, we have to handle this type of program with exception. Okay. Okay, and the runtime exception which can be handled by the programmer are called exceptions. Okay, the runtime errors are these type of things. Okay, and next we'll see the logical errors. Logical errors logical errors won't detected by the Python compiler and Python virtual machine. Okay, it completely depends upon the programmer observance. Okay, so examples we'll see how to get. We'll see what this one. How are the examples of logical error? Uh, Suppose if you want increment salary, there's something like this one. A function, take the function increment sal, definition increment sal, uh, total sal is equal to sal into, suppose 15 by 100 you are given. Okay, return total sal. Okay, so now y is equal to, you can observe what is the return value, we can write here. Okay, increment some 10,000, write it here. Okay, 10,000 salary is 10,000 incremented. How much interest? Okay, total salary is equal to salary is equal, how much will be total salary, we have to calculate. Print total salary comma y. See, it's syntactically it is right one. Okay, there is no compare, everything program will be right here. Okay? So run Python find. See, total is equal to 15 total salary, but total salary is not 1500. No? Here a week output came total salary 1500 because the salary itself is 10,000 a year. So to total including increment salary means you have to get 11,500, but it get only increment salary, not the total salary, because this program, this the logic is not right here. Okay, here logic is not right. So the logical errors we got if logic is not right here, because we have to write here we have to add salary also add here. Okay, salary plus salary 100. Now we will get it total salary. Okay, see these type of errors. Okay, simple words, if your program is logically incorrect, we will get the logical errors. So completely it has to be observe the logical errors and have to handle by the programmer only. No need of exception in the logical errors. Compile time errors, logical errors, no need of exceptions. Only runtime errors only exceptions are needed. We have to we have to handle the exceptions here. Okay, this is a simple example of logical errors. Okay, logically incorrect. Okay, this thing. So these logical programs cannot handle by the compiler, Python compiler or Python virtual machine. Completely programmer responsible for the logical errors. Okay, So that's about the logical error. Only runtime errors only we have to handle exceptions. Okay, runtime errors which can handle by program called exceptions. In a Python, an exception is an event that occurs during the execution of a program and disrupts the normal flow of the program instructions. Okay, due to execution, this is normal flow of program execution, because if your exception, if any error rises, the program flow will stop. No, so we don't want that. We program want to continue, and we have to raise the exception as well as we have to program want to continue. Suppose if any files are there, so you have to complete. If you any file is open, you have to completely close the file. Suppose if you open the file and if you got the error, if you got the error and there is misuse of information will be there. Okay, because we did not close it. So you have to raise the error there and you have to close the exception. So we will see with an example that one how it will be. So exception are used to handle various type of errors, exception situation, unexpected events that occur while program is running. These are the exception types. Okay, Python provides a variety of built-in exception types. Each represent a specific error: syntax error, type error, name error, value error, zero division. Zero division error means 10 by 0. If you give 10 by 0 means it will get infinity. That's a zero division error. Okay, we have to handle this type of runtime exception. It's all runtime exception error. Okay, runtime exception. Okay, how to handle exceptions? So you can handle exceptions by try block and try except and finally block. What is try block means? In try block contains a code that might raise an exception. Whatever the code is a raise an exception, you have to put that in try block. Okay, and in except block you have to except block is used to handle exceptions that occur in try block. Okay, you have to handle exceptions which occur in the try block. You have to write in except block. Multiple except block also you can write it. Okay, it specifies the type of execution to catch and provides code to handle that expression. You can handle multiple except blocks to handle different types of exceptions. Okay, in else part means else block is optional and execute if no exceptions arises. You can write in else block. Okay, if no exception arises in your try block code, else part can execute. Okay, else part will execute. It's optional one, not compulsory. You can write it or not. It allows to find define code. It allows you to define the code that should run when the try block completes without errors. Okay, the else block is often used for the code that should only execute when no exceptions occurs. Finally block is optional and is always executed regardless whether an exception occurred or not. Okay, whether less exception occurred or not, finally block will be executed. Okay, it is commonly used for cleanup operations such as closing file or releasing the source that should always be performed. Okay, suppose if you're working on file f.close, you should be writing finally block here. Okay, because whether exception rises or not, compulsory it closes. Okay, compulsory the file will close it. Okay, so this example. Okay, here see if zero division error is there, you have to put this in try block. In except block we have to raise this exception. We have to handle this exception like print error, some statement like this one, or you can handle you can write another exceptions also. In else part you can no exception occurred, you write in else part here. Okay, this is finally in final block always executed whatever code, whatever whether exception raises or not, final whatever the statement is there in final block, it always executed. Okay, so like this one. Okay, try except and final. Okay, if you write try block, does except block no, compulsory is no needed, you can finally no needed. So if you except block is there, compulsory try block should be there. Okay, if you're writing except block, the compulsory there should be try block, but no, if the try block is there, no need of except block here. Okay, so like that raising, and you can raise an exception like this one. If I okay, we'll see with an example, you will get clarity. These are all exception: try block, catch block, final block, common exceptions. These are the runtime exceptions here: syntax error, indentation error, name error, type error. We have to handle this one. Okay, we have to handle this type of errors. These are all runtime errors. Runtime errors are handled by the Python virtual machine. Okay, assumption error, memory error, stop iteration error, not implement error. These are the common built-in exceptions errors. Okay, there are other also the user. You can also define your own runtime error. Okay, user defined errors, user defined exceptions. You can also write your own exceptions also, user defined exceptions. Okay, that is called as user defined exceptions. So we'll see with one by one program. Okay, write a Python program to understand the effect of an exception. Some simple program will write it here to. Okay, a single program, write a Python program to understand the effect of an exception here. See, take out these all things. CLS So here what we will say is we will take input two numbers from the keyboard, okay, store in two variables, and we will raise zero division error. Okay, zero division error means like taking two input numbers and we will divide that numbers. Suppose if normal numbers means it will divide it, but if you give denominator means if you give second number 0 means it should raise error. Okay, it should raise that in except block. Okay, so that kind of program will write now here. Okay, using file system we'll write there. Okay, some file here you can write it. Okay, first of all, how to open file, f is equal to open, write some file here, exception dot text. Okay, and comma, write it. Okay, we have to write this file. Now we have to print, you have to take input two input numbers. Okay, a comma b is equal to okay, for x in input we have to take two inputs now, because you have to write like this one: input, enter two numbers. Whatever you are writing input from the keyboard, it will be in string type. You have to convert that one. Okay, enter two numbers here, enter two numbers. Okay, uh, dot split here. Okay, split the two numbers like dot split here. Okay, and you have to convert that one. Okay, to load. So how you convert? Just integer, convert from to the integer. Okay, integer x in for int x. So not in no need here. Okay, enough, that's it. Okay, I hope you understand this one. We are entering two numbers from the keyboard. Okay, a comma b, and we are splitting that numbers and storing in x integer. Okay, whatever you entered from the keyboard, Python takes as a string, assumes it as a string, and you have to convert the string into the integer type. Okay, and we are the two numbers we are storing this a comma b. So there's enter two numbers here. Now we have to perform c is equal to a by b, simple, and we have to write this one. Okay, we have to write to this exception dot text here. So if dot write uh, writing percentage d means integer here. If you know c means you understand this one, simple thing, into my file, whatever exception file, exception file. Okay, percentage c here, percentage c. Okay, and close the file now. F dot close. Just close, whether it closed or not you can reprint it. Okay, just to confirm whether file are closed or not. Okay, if it appears in the terminal, uh, it assumes that the file was closed here. Okay, so that's it. Okay, simple. This is simple without exception. This is a simple program. Observe, we are opening the file. Okay, with file name, and we are writing that file, write mode. Okay, write mode means we are writing file to this file. Okay, some statements to this file. So we are entering two numbers from the keyboard, we are converting to the integer. Okay, we are storing this a comma b variable, c equal to a by b. We are performing division here. So third step, after performing division we are writing that division into this file. Okay, exception file. So if that close, we are later closing the file. Okay, simple thing. Run Python terminal, enter two numbers. I'm entering 10 space 2. Okay, so 10 space 2, you see here exception dot text created here, writing 5 into the exception file. Okay, writing 5 okay. 10 by 2 equal 5, so no problem, no error here. Okay, so no error here. Syntactically I tried it, no, logical has no error. But if you write here like cls, suppose if you write here 10 comma 0, 10 is a, b is 0, 10 by 0, A equal to b0 means infinity, which is it raises exception, zero division error exception, it raises zero division exception here. Okay, observe. See, see, value error split, see split value error invalid enter for. Okay, we wait 1 minute. We'll write again, we will execute again. 10 0. See, zero division it raises. Okay, zero division error, division by zero, it raises zero division error. So this type of error, it means it is runtime error. So runtime error we have to handle. Okay, we have to handle this exception. Okay, with this program we have to handle this zero division error exception. Okay, why we have to handle this exception means the programmer should not stop the execution of the flow of the code. Okay, execution flow should not stop. That's the reason we have to handle these exceptions. Suppose if you handle the exceptions, the programmer flow continues. Okay, execution flow will continue from until the end. Otherwise, if the error rises, it stops there. So it stops in the middle only. So that's the reason we have to handle this exceptions. How we handle you? I told you try, except, and finally block. Okay. So what's the code here? Uh, C equal to we have to handle this in try block. Okay. This right, and or you can handle from starting also, no problem. Try. So I think second program is like that only. Write a Python program to handle the zero division access plane. This is the second program I'm writing now. Write a Python program to handle the zero division error. We got that zero division error now. So now we are handling that one. So same program. Try. See, same error. Okay. Try block. F dot write also we have to write it here. Yeah. So this whole code I am putting in the this whole code I am putting in the try block. Okay. Try block is whatever the code exception rises, we have to put that code in the try block. Okay. In except block we have to handle that exception. Except block. Except what's the error here? Zero division error here. Okay, zero division error. Zero division error. Simple. Print. So whatever you can print it here. Okay. Division by zero happen. Please do not enter zero. Please do not. Please do not enter zero. Zero in b value. B value, no. A by b means b value should not be zero. So like that one. Okay. In f dot close you can write finally block. Finally. See, finally block is used whether exception rises or not. Finally block will be executed. Okay. So f dot close will execute whether if you got error also, this file will be closed. Okay. So that's the way we have to handle CLS. Observe here. So now we are write Python function. Enter two numbers 10 0. See, please do not enter 0 in b value. File closed. Okay. So like that. So like that we have to handle. Okay. In try block, whatever the code exception rises, we have to put that in try block. In except block we have to handle that error like this zero division error or whatever type error, whatever it is, you have to handle this in except block. In final block, whatever closing statements you write, whatever the closing statements you can write it in final block. Final block execute whatever the code except whether the file closed or not, write in final block. Okay. Finally doesn't depend on the error. Final block. So these are second program. And next one is a write a Python program to handle syntax error given by the eval function. Okay, syntax error, we are handling now syntax error. Okay, first one is a zero division error. Now we will see the syntax error example here. Okay, so case syntax error here. Suppose input here. Okay, suppose you take the date time here. Eval function eval int input enter numbers, sorry, enter date. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter whatever you write, just enter date. Sorry, you don't need of integer here. Okay, eval input enter date. Print date entered. Date here. Okay, simple thing, no error will get in here. Okay, enter date. Suppose 2023 space 14 space 6 14. See, invalid syntax, we got it invalid syntax here, otherwise see one thing. See, 2024 23 5 comma 6. See, it's invalid syntax here. Okay, one thing we have to write in. If you write like this, 2023 comma 4 comma 5. See, data is entered. Whenever if you enter like this one with commas, Python assumes it as a tuple. Okay, tuple, Python assumes a tuple and it will display. Okay, no, nothing. And eval function assumes it as a tuple. Okay, so but okay, so no error rises here. Suppose if you write uh, anything 1 comma a comma 4 here. Okay, here 1 comma a comma 4, like this one, syntax error you will get it. Okay, string name error is not defined here. Syntax error, enter date. So 2023 a comma 13 comma b. See, syntax error. Okay, we have to handle this type of syntax error. We got syntax error. Okay, we have to handle this type of syntax errors. So nothing, simple, put try block here, and try block put this one. And if you write in try block, you have to write except block here. In except block, you have to syntax error, you have to raise. Okay, syntax error, you can write print. Okay, invalid date entered. Okay, invalid date entered, enter numbers. Else part, in else part, if exception is not there, else part will execute. If the exception, if the correct output is there, else part will execute. Otherwise, except block will execute. Okay, so observe here, simple, run Python terminal, enter date 2023 a comma 3 comma 4, invalid date entered here. Okay, so like that you have to handle. But program execution won't stop here. Okay, in the exception, if you write these exceptions, the program flow will not be disturbed. Okay, otherwise if you got error, the program flow will be disturbed. If it is a big program, so there will be a problem. Okay, If you write exception in a big program, you get huge advantages because the exception handler handles that type of exceptions. You can understand there. What are the runtime exceptions here? Okay, like that. You can also write like this one without except syntax error. Also, you can write it without mentioning some. If you don't know the error, so just you write it like this one. Okay, except if you take out this syntax error, except some error, you can write like this one. You can handle like this one also without knowing runtime exception also. See, observe here. Enter date. 2023 a comma 3 comma 1. See some error here. Okay, so you can write like this without knowing runtime exception also. You can write it. Okay, simply writing except and some error here. Okay, you can handle like this one also. You can handle exceptions like this as well. Okay, and next thing is write a program to handle IOE produced by the open function. Input output error. Okay, input output error means if file is not found, you have to. If file is not found, generally if something, if you are searching for a file, if the file is not found, it will raise an error. Okay, you have to handle that type of errors. Okay, okay, and so suppose if you take name is equal to some input, enter some file name, enter some file name. Okay, and f is equal to open, write name here, comma, write it. Okay, write to this name. Oh, sorry, read it. Okay, read, not write, read that file. Okay, whatever you enter, you have to read it. The file has to be executed here. The exception dot text, write some. Okay, sum is equal to 0 5, write some x is equal to 3. So this type of. Okay, and write some, how much length is, you write how length is equal length of f dot read lines, means it returns how many length is, how much length is there. Okay, read lines print uh, name comma has n comma lines f dot close. Okay, if file is there, it displays it, otherwise it raise error. See, observe, because we are mentioning the length also, we are, because whatever the length is there, while it displays. Okay, we are printing that file. Okay, enter file name. I am entering exception dot text here. The file is exception dot text, has two lines. Okay, we have two lines here, so it displayed here two lines. We are storing the length, we are using the length method and storing the length and number. Okay, and is n variable. Okay, we are storing using read lines method and n length method, we are storing this in n variable and we are displaying it. Okay, so exception, we no exception here. Suppose if you raise some f1, whatever, this file doesn't exist. See here, you got file not found error, no such file directory, input output error. So we have to handle this type of errors now. How you handle, just put all name, put this in try block. Try block is there, and you have to write except block, except IO error, no? Input output error. So write print, what's error, file not found name. Okay, otherwise you write else part. In else part, file exists, else part will execute it. Okay, else part is there, file. If there is no exception, else part will execute. If there is exception, except error block will execute. Okay. So observe here, and we will write it here on Python. If you write F1 here, see file not found here. Okay. So like that you have to handle that exceptions. Next thing is write a Python program to handle multiple exceptions. Okay, multiple exceptions we have to handle. Right, as of now we handle only single exception here. Suppose multiple exceptions are there, you can how to handle multiple exceptions. I think simple here. Okay, so we will take input from the key. No, we will do some total comma average of the values of the list. We'll define some function and we will loop it, and we will calculate some average and total. Okay, and we will display it. Okay, we'll total errors will see it. Okay, something like that we'll see. Take out this one, and how to handle multiple exception. uh, okay, so the average of, write some list here, function. Okay, and some total is equal to 0 as usual. Loop for x in list. uh, Total is equal to total, tot plus equal to x. So equal to x. So average is equal to total by length list. Okay, and we have to return this one. Okay, we have written both, return total comma average. Okay, and come out of the definition. Now write some t comma a is equal to, write some function here, average. Write like something 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma a. Okay, we are making sum and average for this list. Okay, average, we are passing this argument to this parameter, and we'll print it first here. Print total is equal to, and average is equal to dot format t comma a. So this is a normal program. Okay, but we'll get error here. Okay, see, this is a function here, average function, and this is a parameter, list parameter, and this argument we are passing this average 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma a to this list. So this is a loop here, you can understand, you have to understand. Okay, for x we are repeating the loop, we are summing, and we are doing sum to this list, and we are averaging, we are doing average also, and we are returning this total comma average, and we are storing the total average in this t comma a. Okay, so total is equal to average is equal to comma t comma a. So okay, and we will get error here. See, we got type error, we have to handle type error. How to handle type error? Just not all whole function no need here, and just if you write in try block is enough, I think. Try block and everything. So what error we got it here? Next we are writing except block, no? Except type error. Type error. Just print. Please provide numbers. Okay. please provide numbers. Why we are type error means, you know, because we are doing some with the integer and the string, so we will get type error for that one. Okay, provide numbers. There is another type error is called, suppose control S, see please provide numbers, because it's not totaling this two. Suppose if empty block is there, if you pass empty argument to this average function, take out this one empty block here, observe what type of error. Okay, zero division error we take here, so we have to handle another error also. So except zero division error, print print please do not give empty list. Okay, please do not give empty list. Okay, so like that. See, observe here, see please do not give empty list error. So you can raise multiple exceptions using multiple except blocks with single try statement, and also you can write we can write in single except block. So we can write it single except block like this with two exceptions. We can write in single except block like this one, a type error in square parenthesis type error. So like this one. Okay, type error comma syntax error, type error like this one, type error comma syntax error. So like this one, syntax error. So we can write like this, two errors you can write in single except, two type of exceptions you can write in single except block. Okay, or you can write like this one also, multiple except block also you can write it, whatever, depends upon needs. Okay, and that's one. The next thing is write a Python program to create our own exception, raise when it needed. Okay, assertion error. No. Write a Python program to use a asset statement here. Okay. Okay, write a Python program to use a asset statement with a message. Syntax. So the syntax of the asset statement is asset condition message. Okay. Condition you have to write it. Okay. Means the asset statement is useful to ensure that a given condition is true. If it is not true, it raises assertion error. Okay. Since the syntax is there, if the condition is false, then the exception by the name assertion error is raised along with the message written in the asset statement. This message here. Okay, if message is not given in the asset statement and the condition is false, then also assertion error is raised without message. Okay, so we'll see with an example with the assertion message like simple assertion error, simple. So you know syntax, assertion condition comma message. Okay, here. Okay, assertion condition, some condition, okay, comma message, you write it. Okay, simple. This is a simple program only. Suppose you have to write x is equal to, take some integer, okay, enter number, some numbers. Okay, input. Okay, enter numbers enter number between 1 and 5. We have to enter any number only 1 and 5. Okay, right. And now we have to use asset. Okay, asset condition. What's the condition? If x less than or equal to 0 and x greater than or equal to 6. Okay, comma, so message. Okay, because if you enter the number below 6 or above 6, above, below 0 and above 6 is there, you have to write a message. Okay, you write in message here after entering comma just message here, type message. Your input should be like your input is not correct, something like that. Your input is not correct, or your input, whatever message, you can write it here. Okay, enter. If it is right, just print the number entered. Okay, what is the number entered here? So whatever number entered here, you got comma x. Okay, if it is true, it enter exception. Okay, okay, you have to put all this one in try block. Okay, sorry, try block. For asset statement also you have to use try blocks here. Okay, in except block, assertion error. So write any object here. Okay, because the whatever error is stored in the object, whatever whatever you have written in this message, that message value is stored in this object, and we are printing that object here. Okay, print obj. That's it, simple. Okay, asset condition comma message. Okay, whatever the message you have written, it stores in this obj object, and that value we are printing in the assertion error except block. Okay, simple. CLS. So enter number between 1 and 5. Suppose if I entered 3 means your input is not correct. Okay, some enter for 3 entered, no, x less than or equal to 0. Assert. Okay, just a minute. Everything is right only. Okay, sorry, here not less than here. You have to write greater than here. Okay, greater than, and here, sorry, simple, less than or equal to. Okay, x greater than equal to 1, x less than or equal to 5. So that's a simple error. So enter 3. So the number entered 3. Suppose if you entered, suppose if you entered some 6 here, see your input is not correct. Okay, so we are printing that input here. Simple, the simple assertion error, that is. Okay, suppose okay, this is nothing but a assertion error. You have to remember the syntax: asset condition and the message. Okay, so next program we'll see here. Write a Python program to create our own exception. Okay, user defined exceptions and raise when it needed. Okay, user defined exception. So user defined exceptions, we have to create classes. Why we are using user defined exceptions means, okay, but there will be some situation will be there where none of the exception in the Python are useful for the programmer. So in that case, the programmer has to create his own exception and raise it. Okay, for example, let's take a bank account. When customers have account, each account is characterized with a customer name and balance amount. Okay, the rule of the bank is that every customer should keep minimum 2000 rupees balance amount in his account. Okay, the programmer now is given a task to check the accounts to know every customer is maintaining minimum balance 2000 or not. Okay, if the balance amount is below 2000, then the programmer want to raise an exception, saying balance amount is less than account and so on of person. Okay, like that. This will be helpful to the bank account to find out the customer, that is. Okay, so we have to write this type of exception, user defined exception, because if the bank balance is greater than 2000, so we have to raise an exception. So with user defined exception only possible for that one. Okay, if there is no runtime exception, So we have to raise with user defined exception. So we have to, if you want to write user defined exception, you have to write class, okay, you have to create class, okay, because since all exceptions are classes, the programmer is supposed to create his own exception, okay, as a class. Also he should make his class as subclass to that built-in exception class. So like this class, okay, my error exception class, these things we will see in the oops concept. But remember, okay, this one, okay, we have to self comma value. Why this self comma value means the programmer made a group of statements in a function. Here my exception is here my error here is here my error is a subclass of the exception here, okay, and the class has a constructor with a variable value here, and the value is defined here. The value receives a message passed from this value here, okay. So like this one here, and we have to raise exception in the program, okay. We'll write with dictionary, we'll write some program, we'll create the first of all, we'll copy this one, okay, control C, we'll copy this one, we'll take out this, okay, right. This is some we are user defined class this one, okay. These are the user defined one. Exception is a main class, say this my is a subclass here, okay, and the value will be here, and we have to put this will I will this we will tell you in the oops concept. But remember, as of now, we are how to raise user defined exceptions, okay. We are writing simply dictionaries, we'll use dictionaries here, and the bank account. First we have to raise some function here. First we have to write some function, check distant here, okay, whatever distar dictar whatever you can write it here, okay. For k comma v in dist dot items, because all the values and keys and values stored in this dictionary, you have to understand the dictionary, okay, for this one, otherwise you won't understand. Here's one, and items, and print names equal to and balance equal to, okay, and dot format, we are storing this one, okay. We'll write the dictionary values later, okay. For just let me write this function k comma v, right. Here printing first for loop, right. Okay, and suppose if value is if value is greater than or equal to right, suppose some 1000, okay, 2000 or 1000 whatever, we have to raise error, no, we have to raise exception, no, we have to raise exception, no, raise what's the exception name, my exception, my error, we have to get my error, raise my error, okay, raise my error. So message, write hidden message here, okay. So like balance amount is less in the account of k, suppose balance is less in the account of k, okay, plus k, we can, okay, balance in the less in the account of this person, key what is the person, we write in dictionary key values later, okay, just write it, and so okay, write where exception here. So right now here exception, okay, bank is equal to dictionary here, okay, dictionary you are writing curly braces, and the key and value we write it here. Okay, name some key value, some suppose it is Bob colon 5000 bank balance for this guy, comma Ram colon it is bank balance 4000. Okay, comma some Vijay colon, so bank balance is here 1000. No, I am writing 500 here. Okay, so like that bank balance we have to write it. And okay, what's the function name? Check here. Okay, check, we're passing bank dictionary to that value. Okay, check bank, we have to write this check bank in try block, try. Okay, and if you are writing type block, we have to write except function. Okay, except my error, we are right now my error as obj, whatever we can write it, and whatever the raise, whatever you written raise my error, it's the that error value stored in this abg, and we are printing that one. Okay, print obj, simple. This kind, so this type of, okay, this way you can raise exceptions. I hope you understand this one. Okay, so if you know the oops concept, you will understand this one clearly. So but to get some how to raise exceptions, I am writing this program. So if you want, if there is some condition is that you have to raise exceptions, and whatever you are raise exception, that value you have to store in this except block. Okay, so what's the answer now? Because in dictionary Vijay has less account 5000. Okay, because value less than greater than, so not greater than, less than, so less than or equal to 1500. So it Vijay balance is less in the account of Vijay. Okay, it displays like this one, it raise exception like that one. Okay, control S. See, name is called Bob, balance wise because balance is less in the account of Vijay. Here we have written here. Okay, so like that. Okay, so here we are, you have to understand this one, because if you know the dictionary you will understand looping here. Okay, printing, just simple thing. Okay, first we are defining the function, and we are looping, we'll come again. Okay, for how we'll come again. First you have to create some own exception like this one, my error. Okay, from the exception class, every exception is a class, from class only you can create some your own exceptions. Okay, because since all exceptions are classes, the programmer is supposed to create his own exception in a class, as a class. Also he should make his class as subclass to the inbuilt exception class, this class. Okay, and we have to write this self dot value, because whatever the exception is, it will come to this value and it will store in this value. This is an inbuilt exception class. And first you have to assign some bank uh, dictionary values, like key name and the value name. Okay, bank, the name of the bank user, and the bank user and their balance here, and the value one. We have to write dictionary, and we have to assign to this bank variable. So and write this function check dictionary, and we are looping this whatever bank is there, check bank, we are passing, because these are all dictionary, this whole dictionary we are passing to this check function value, this parameter, this argument we are passing to this parameter, and we are looping the parameter to this for k comma digital dot items, and we're printing it, and if it is less than 0 we are raising error, here. Okay, whatever we are raising here we have to write in except block. Okay, obj, this balance is less in the account will store in this obj, and we are printed over here. Okay, so simple thing, double check here. Okay, double check this one, simple program this one. So like that you have to raise this one exception. Okay, so we'll see more exceptions in the later classes. This is a simple exception, I hope you understand how to handle exception. Okay, uh, how to handle simple with 7 programs, I hope you understand. Come, so exception. Okay, first time, what is the definition of exception? Exception is a runtime error which is handled by the programmer. Only runtime errors only we have to handle exceptions. Okay, the compile time errors, logical errors can be eliminated by the program modifying the source code only. By modifying the source code, no need of exceptions for the compile time errors and logical errors. only that we have to handle exceptions in the runtime errors only. How to handle means using try block, except block, finally block, else block. Using these blocks we have to handle these exceptions. There are some inbuilt runtime exceptions are there, like syntax error, type error, zero division error. So and also we can create our own user defined exceptions. Also we can create our by raising exception and the try block by raising some exceptions in the statements. Okay, and that's it. Why we are assemblies to continue the flow of the program. Okay, suppose if you runtime exceptions, if you can't handle the runtime exceptions, your program, your program will break in the middle of the your the program will be the will break. Okay, it won't compile it will see like this one. See, this whole program will be there. If suppose if some exception rises here, if you did not write any raise exceptions, so it won't print first of all. Okay, this because see, it won't print name equal Bob, balance equals, it won't print it. Okay, because it raises error. Simply raises error. So if you want to handle that kind of errors, you have to write exceptions. Okay, so that you know which type of error you got it. Okay, something like that, right? And that's it. That's about exceptions. We'll see oops concept in the later class. Okay, that's it. Practice.